Now then, welcome to the workshop. You've obviously seen the thumbnail, so you know what I'm actually doing today. But yeah, with the upcoming release of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which I'm looking forward to, I wanted to make a prop, any kind of prop from it really. I've always loved creating things, and if you've seen any of my other videos, I've just recently started getting into using foam for stuff, but kind of on a budget, if you like. So like real low end prop making equipment, if you like. So like the floor tiles for EVA foam. I don't know if I've got any like actually right next to me. No, we haven't. Yeah, so like, I mean, I'll show you in a minute anyway. But I'm trying to make as much as I can for as little as possible, because it's kind of scratching a niche I'm getting to make it, but I'm not like, you know, bursting the bank trying to do it. So I decided that I'm going to make the cupcake from Five Nights at Freddy's, obviously. The little cupcake. I don't know what its name is. If it's got a name, I don't know. I'll put a picture of it like here or somewhere if I remember. But so yeah. Basically, we're going to try do it for as little as possible, outlay, and see how it turns out. It might not be pretty. It's definitely not going to be screen accurate. But if you've seen any of my other videos, I recently made the jackal cage from 13 Ghosts, the head and the mask and that. That's somewhere on my channel, I guess. One that isn't is I made the reverse bear trap from Saw. I didn't film any of that. That was the first thing I made, to be fair, just as an experiment. If I remember, again, I'll put a picture here if I take one. I don't know. So yeah, I'm kind of really trying to get into it as much as I can, without obviously wrecking my bank account doing it. But yeah, let's see how it goes. So I'm hopefully going to use a mixture of these. I mean, this is just an offcut, but these are the foam. It's basically EVA foam. It's got like a coating on the top with this horrible thing. So I'm going to use a mixture of this, and I've used quite a lot of that for stuff. Foam clay. This is just some cheap online stuff. It is basically just clay, but when it dries, it's this. So, you know, if you're trying to get like really awkward shapes or round shapes that you can't bother to carve and stuff, that seems like the way to go. But again, that was super cheap. I'm going to use this. It's a floristry half sphere thing, like that have the handle in there for a bouquet and stab flowers in it. But total experiment, I'm going to try using this for the cake top. Obviously, I'm going to go over it with the foam clay, because I need to create like you know, the drips and all that sort of crap. But for now, what I want it for right now is I've got the mat. Hang on, that's one side of it. That's the back end of it, back side of it rather. I'm going to draw around this, cut it out, do it a few times, and then I'm going to stack them on top of each other, and that will end up being the base. Well, that's the idea anyway. I don't know if it's actually going to work, but we're going to give it a go. So right, so I'm going to cut out, even though it's the same size as that half sphere. Realistically, you'd want the half sphere to be slightly over it so it drips down, but because I'm adding the foam clay to it, it is actually naturally going to be out. I'm going to cut it. This is going to be a little bit in as well. It'll make sense as I do it. You'll see. Fingers crossed. So that's where I'm at the minute. It's obviously multiple layers of this stuff glued together, and I've used a Dremel with a sanding barrel to cut all that down. Now I'm going to use foam clay to tidy all this up, make it look a bit neater. So I'll bring it back once I've done that. For now, that's basically it. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it'll get tidied up once it's set. So I'll leave that for probably 24 hours to set, and then I can sand it again, tidy it up. But yeah, that'll do for now. So I'm going to chop out 2 holes roughly there, and then I'll be ready to cover this with the foam clay as well. Because looking at the actual picture, that would essentially be the eyeballs, but the frosting comes up to about here. So I'm going to dig these out, build the eyeballs, then probably cover this with like a darker whatever clay, and then the pink frosting, build it out so it's kind of like eyebrows. I'll put a picture up in a sec, hopefully, if I remember, so you see what I'm on about. So I took a scrap piece of dowel, obviously it's a bit rough, drilled 2 little holes, put some cocktail sticks in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this in foam. I've obviously covered the inside of the eyes because that's going to be the internal bit. Let it set, paint it, and that'll be the candle. So at some point it'll stab in there and the flame will be off that. It's just to give it a bit of rigidity, if you like, because obviously while the foam's setting it, it'll bend and warp and be all crappy and that. So I'll cover this in foam and show you in a sec. So there we've got the basic candle. It's obviously got a set. All it is this real cheap air dry foam clay. I don't know, just some random cheap crap, but for an experiment, it'll be alright. So I'm going to stab it in there, let it set, and then I'll paint it to try and make it look a little bit better. But for now, that's the candle sorted. Right, so I've given it a little ridge around here, because when I put the foam clay on it for the drips, I need it to be slightly further out than what the base is going to be. So this is just the easiest thing I can think of to do. Obviously once it's all covered and painted you're not going to see any of that anyway, but I was just trying to keep it light. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Alright, so that's where I am up to now. As I've said before, I'm absolutely not a sculptor or an artist by any stretch. So it needs a lot of tidying up. But up to now, that's where I'm at. So I've just got some cheap acrylic paint. Excuse me. That's the face coat. Obviously it's a bit messy at the minute, but it's sealed, PVA'd. I don't know if I filmed that bit, I can't remember. And that's where we're at up to now. So what I'm hoping is once that's dry, probably tomorrow or something, I'll do another coat to try and like smooth it off, and hopefully make it look tidier. Obviously I've already made the eyes to go in there. Right, so that's the candle added, and I'm going to attach these into there in a minute and then put the eyelids and stuff on and then seal it all, and that should be the top pretty much finished. I've got the teeth to make, but I'll do that once I've attached this to the base, so I can see what I'm working with. But yeah, 2 seconds. Well, that's the eyeballs added. I've still got the eyelids to add, but that's going to be with like a thinner black foam. But up to now, it's looking alright. Right, so I've got this foam type stuff. It's kind of like EVA, but I'm not quite sure what it is. It's just the liner of something that I found and kept. But anyway, I figured I'd make the eyelids out of that, and that's where we're at the minute. They're not stuck down, so they're not, you know, it's not great right now, just getting the shape. But a bit of manipulating, bit of sorting, and I think that'll look pretty good. But yeah, almost done. So there's his face up to now. Just got the teeth to make and add him to the proper base, obviously, because that's just a tub that I can keep this bit off the flat surface. But yeah, so far so good. And there we have it. Not perfect by any stretch, but carved and moulded and painted by my own hands. So I don't know, I kind of like it. It's kind of cool. But yeah, that's it.